Every client has a story, and FieldCamp lets you manage everything inside one roof. What I mean by that is you have a new lead which comes in from your website, SMS, they call you. You use our AI receptionist to answer that, for instance. And ultimately, for that lead, you do invoicing, quotation, all the way in the middle, which we call it the messy middle, and then ultimately convert them to an active client. The entire process is available inside FieldCamp, and not only available, but you are able to track the entire client history and 360-degree view of each client. Now, the best way to get started is in this video, I'm going to walk you through what does the client stages mean. First of all, there are various client stages. How does the CRM differ from the request module, and where to use each of them? Ultimately, how to create jobs, estimate, etc. for a client on your CRM, how to customize the CRM, and a few other small things. So the first thing you want to do is when you come inside the FieldCamp dashboard, you will head over to the client section. And once you're on the client section, this is because I have added a few clients. You see their profiles here. If you have not added them, then I'll walk you through how you can add them as well. But just before doing that, in the CRM, we primarily give 4 stages. One is a new lead. Now let's say a new lead can be any person. If it's a Jill has called you and requested your services, for instance, and said, hey, I want XYZ thing. Can you guys help me out? What you will do is you will add Jill's profile into FieldCamp CRM and mark it as a new lead. Then anything between a new lead and an active client, like what is stopping Jill from becoming an active client, then everything in the middle is covered by what we say the request module, and I will explain the reason for it. If you have a first look at our system, you will be like, hey, why does your CRM only have like 4 stages? What we did was we did some first principles thinking that, hey, if someone is contacting you or for your services, then it doesn't need to be a messy 50-stage pipeline. There's only 2 things which matter: Jill, who is interested in your service, and then Jill, who is an active client. Everything in the middle, as I said, the messy middle, is where you send code, you do inspection, you create job estimates, etc. anything, and those are the activities that you do, and those are not the stages. So what we have done is we have created a request module where even though the profile of Jill is in your CRM, but what you do on that profile, which means creating a quotation for him, creating an inspection appointment for him, those are the activities which you do on top of the client profile. So what you can think of CRM inside FieldCamp is a massive client database which you want to maintain, and then ultimately do your marketing campaigns, etc. Then there is inactive and archived client. Inactive client is, for example, Jill hasn't scheduled any job for you in the last 6 months, then he becomes inactive. You want to just export all the inactive clients and then do marketing campaigns on top. And then there is archived. Archived is just you don't need Jill's profile anymore and you want to archive it out. These are just the stages. They don't delete the profile. So what I mean by stages is, even though if you put something in archive, you will still see their profile. It's just for data cleaning and maintenance purposes. Now let's say we want to add a new client. Then there is the basic details like name, email, phone, website, company, tax, etc. The state selection. There is a default job form. What does default job form do is Jill usually prefers, for example, you to give him reports in a certain format. Like this is especially true for commercial clients where they prefer to have a specific format. Then what you can do is you can use our job checklist functionality to customize the heck out of it and then create a PDF report which you can just send it to them. So you can select that, hey, this client always needs this kind of a checklist or a form. You can add addresses. There is a basic Google auto suggest where you can just type it out and then it will suggest you few things. There is an advanced option where you can add your address, house, block, country, city, all etc. if you want in detail, or you can do by lat, long, and DMS. And the reason for doing it is if you are in a clustered area like Thailand, India, where Google's auto suggest doesn't work out the best, then you can manually add the lets and longs, or you can just use our pinning feature to pin it on a map after zooming in. There is notes field. Now how this will work is, if Jill says that, hey, I have a leak in my bathroom, can you guys come and help me out, then we'll just enter over here that this profile or Jill, he has a leak in his bathroom and he described that he has XYZ appliance which has been installed, so he needs help. You can note it down. And then what you see down here are custom fields. Custom fields is something which you maintain to your business. For example, if you are doing a lead intake, then you have a certain qualification questions. What you can do is you can create custom fields to get those questions answered, like what is his budget, etc. And because every business has a different custom field, what we have done is we have just given you the functionality. So how do you add a custom field? What you will do is you'll go to organize. Think of organize as organizing your master CRM database, and the options to organize it are filter, sort by, group by, columns, like what columns you want to show on the CRM database. Then pagination, which means do you prefer to have a long scroll or just 10 entries per page. And lastly, there is properties. Properties are the custom fields you want to add. So these are the basic ones we give, and this is a custom field which we have added. Now if I want to add a new custom field, I'll just say add a new custom field. Then there is what type of field. So it's text, number, checkbox, date and time, select, multi-select, font. You can choose what type of field it is and then what you want to name it out. And once you do that, then you can add that. And then when you create a form, it will just show you that field which you can filter out. Once all this is done, the next part is for an active client. How do you see all their 360-degree details? And what I mean by that is, for example, Jill has contacted you. Then if you open a profile for him over here, and these are his basic details, of course, like address and stuff. In the activity is where you will see all the client history and timeline for their profile, everything that they have done with you, how they have contacted, the voice recordings, because we have a calling functionality. So call recordings, any files, to-dos, SMS history, because we have two-way text message as well. And then it will show you this job was done, who was the team member, what was sent, what is the status of it. There is a Google Calendar integration as well, in case you want to integrate your Google Calendar. What requests have been done for this client. So Jill has requested your services, so any requests that have been created will be shown here. Any tasks, so all the to-dos and everything will be also visible here. Files is where you will see all the data being uploaded. So for example, if you have done a job for an XYZ client, let's say Jill, and then your technicians uploaded a picture when they completed the job, those pictures we automatically group them and organize in a nice folder under that client's profile for jobs, which makes it easier for you to first of all organize the data and just see it when needed. And lastly, assets is where all the invoices, estimates that you have created for this client, what are the status of it, any products that have been installed or used at their house, because we have inventory tracking, which you can check out in another video. Over here, you will see what products you have used for this customer in the past, any payments that they have made you, and any job forms that have been filled out for them, and who filled it out, and what were the responses for it. Now you have a 360-degree view of Jill's profile. Even if Jill is a new customer, then totally fine. But if it's the existing customer calling you, you have all that information handy, which you can just check out from right here. The next thing is converting this into an estimate. When I say Jill is a new lead, for instance, let's say Jill is a new lead, I want to create an estimate for him. Actually, sorry, I just created a task. Then it will take me to the estimate screen. where of course you will follow all the estimate creation steps. I won't go into detail for this because we have another specific video for it, but let's say once you've created the estimate can either be approved and converted to a job. So if this is the estimate, for instance, then I'll just convert this to a job. So basically for the same client, the job is created from the estimate. I have the client history things because we have the CRM which I just showed you. So I can see all the job, event, billing, product, payment information right here. Then any details like scheduling, when do I want to schedule the job. Check out our job scheduling feature for how we use AI to schedule the jobs. And once the job is created, ultimately GL becomes an active client in your system. You can assign the jobs to your different people, you can execute it, etc. And lastly, once the CRM has been set up, you can customize how it looks as well. So for example, this is too much information. How I like to see it is, I would like to see it, for example, by property type, which is a custom field. Then I can just say apply, and based on all the property types that I have, it will just show it to me. Or I can just say city, and it will group things by city, for example. And I now have this view which is all my clients by different cities that I do business in. I can save this view. So for example, I'll say save this view, which I just click beside a small arrow button beside the apply button, and I'll just say grouped by city. Now I have two different views. One is default, one is grouped by city. So default view just takes me to the basic database. Group by city takes me over here. And in case I want to have saved views over here, I can pin that as well. So the group by city, which was the original view, not the one I just created right now, but the first version of it, it just shows me this. Now you know how to maintain the CRM, what you can do inside it, etc. And in the upcoming videos, I'm going to show you a few other things as well, like customer portal, importing, etc. Thank you.